Okay, well, it's 11:03. Let's jump on in. As most of the ServiceNow presentations that I'm sure you've all been to, here's our safe harbor notice. So any future-looking statements that you might hear or see today, please don't make any purchasing decisions based on those. And just some housekeeping. We want to make sure that you ask questions. We will have a Q&A session at the end, but please pop your questions into the Q&A so we can hold those for after the session. We will be recording, so you can view the session and share it with your peers and friends across the community afterwards. And also hop over to the community at any time. We want to keep the conversation going, and we've got lots of experts and answers for you over there. And as typical, at the end, we will be sending out a survey. We'd love to understand how you enjoyed today's session. Quick intro, I'm Christina Barnhart. I'm a senior manager in our customer success area. I manage a team of the squad that works with a delivery of impact, so customer success managers, success architects, and platform architects. And I am not as cool as Tom. I do know how cool he is because I've had the pleasure of working with Tom at Northwestern for the better part of the last 2 years. I'll hand it to you, Tom.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tom Cook from Northwestern Mutual, where I have a title of Director of Center of Excellence and Innovation. So in my role, I lead our Center of Excellence function. It is a position that sits in product management, and I have the privilege of serving in that role as platform owner and work very closely with architecture and our business on value realization and creating the future. Previously, I held the engineering manager for all the build activities on the ServiceNow platform. And back in 2021, led the tracks on adoption and readiness from our transition from our former tool set onto ServiceNow. I'm a big pop culture fan. I guess the cool part, Christina says, I've been known to have conversations purely with movie quotes. Your opinion might be different, but don't let her fool you. She's just as cool.
Thanks, Tom. Hey, everyone. I'm Hugo Nolo. I'm a product manager for Impact. In this role, I oversee the product's go-to-market strategy, and then I work closely with customers to make sure that they adopt their Impact features. I'm a big soccer fan. I'm much better at watching it on TV than actually playing it, though, although I do enjoy playing it. Happy to be here.
Thanks, Tom and Hugo. Before we get started today, we do have a quick poll question that we would love to understand from all of you here today. So if you can go ahead and answer that poll for us, that'd be great. How do you track value on the platform? Oh, I'm seeing a lot of we don't have a good tracking mechanism in place. I used to work with the ServiceNow platform as a customer, and I would say that would be my answer too. And that is the majority of our answers here. Okay. And there's our replies. I think we can all, most of us don't have a great tracking mechanism and are not really tracking on the value of the platform today. And I think we get so busy that it's easy to miss. And we'll share those results up. Okay, let's move on. Thank you for sharing. Okay, and now it's my pleasure to introduce you to ServiceNow Impact today. ServiceNow Impact is a value acceleration solution designed to maximize your investment with ServiceNow. It's built on the Now platform, and it combines predictive software with human ingenuity to keep your platform healthy, speed up your time to value, and it offers you personalized insights, recommendations, value tracking, and industry benchmarking. There's also learning and premium technical support, but it's all centralized in a beautiful experience, built and continuously iterated for you. And before we get to Tom's section, I would like Hugo to give you a quick product tour, just so you can visualize what I'm talking about.
Great. Thanks, Christina. All right. So as Christina just mentioned, we built Impact with really one objective in mind, which is making sure that you maximize your investment in ServiceNow and that you're able to track the value that you're getting from your investment in ServiceNow. So all the features that we built in Impact have that key objective in mind. You can see here, I'm logged in as Jackie Gutierrez, which is a platform owner for ServiceNow. We have different versions of the Impact software for various personas. We have an executive version, for example, that's a little bit more streamlined than what I'm showing you. But all of this is personalized to your role and to your company. So when Jackie logs in Impact in the morning, this is the first thing she sees. It's her homepage. She can track all the activities that she's working on with regard to ServiceNow. She can track the business objectives that she's hoping to achieve with ServiceNow. She also gets tailored recommendations for her as a platform owner, but also for her company. Recommendations on training she could take, on accelerators she could complete, etc. She also gets a glimpse into her platform health to make sure that everything is running well. And she can also initiate a conversation with her Impact Squad. Jackie's Impact Squad is her designated team of ServiceNow experts that will guide her throughout her ServiceNow journey. They're both strategic and technical in nature. The customer success manager is her go-to person. It's the person that will put her in touch with the right resources within ServiceNow, basically keep her on track with her digital transformation. Her support account manager is the person who will take care of her support tickets every day. The platform architect is the technical guru. It's the most knowledgeable person on the ServiceNow platform and will really recommend actions that Jackie could take to maximize her usage of the ServiceNow platform. And the success architect is a more businessy profile. It's the person who will help Jackie map her vision for ServiceNow and identify the products that she should use to execute on that vision. When our customers first start their Impact journey, they work on something called the Value Blueprint. This is an exercise where customers define their strategic business objectives for ServiceNow, mapped to the products they purchased, and then we map these to operational outcomes and success metrics. All of this is highly customizable and tailored to Jackie's company and her objectives, but ServiceNow will also come to the table. We've seen many customers before, many digital transformations, so we will have clear recommendations on the metrics that maybe Jackie could track. Jackie can also easily personalize her value blueprint. She can pick new products that her company may have purchased, pick operational outcomes, success metrics, etc. Once we've had this business discussion with Jackie, we then move on to what we call the capabilities map. This is a single pane of glass into everything that Jackie's company owns across ServiceNow products, and she gets a clear view into which products she's currently implementing, which ones have been implemented, adopted, etc. And she can learn more about any of these products by clicking here, and then there's a link to ServiceNow docs. Then we go one step further with what we call the product adoption roadmap. And here we recommend an implementation plan for Jackie's products. And these are all determined by the business objectives that she defined in the value blueprint. These are the colored lines you see here. So the value blueprint is really that thread that will guide Jackie's entire ServiceNow transformation. And finally, once we've had a business discussion through the value blueprint, we've published the capabilities map and the product adoption roadmap. This is where the Impact recommendation engine kicks in. And so Impact will recommend training, accelerators, products that Jackie can leverage to get to value as quickly as possible. So we've been talking about value quite a bit, and this may seem a little bit theoretical for now, but it's very important for Impact customers to track the value that they're receiving from their ServiceNow investment. And this is what we do in this tab here, Business KPIs. You'll recognize here, these are the same business objectives that Jackie defined in her value blueprints. the same outcomes and success metrics. And every quarter, we track the progress that she's making on these operational metrics. And we track how they're doing over time. And if we're able to define the revenue and cost drivers behind each of these metrics, we're also able to calculate a clear ROI on that ServiceNow investment. Once again, the same 4 business objectives. And here we can see how much monetary value Jackie's company is receiving from ServiceNow, organized by product, by point in time, etc. And all these reports are highly customizable, so Jackie can easily communicate to her leadership. But none of this is really achievable unless Jackie has a healthy platform. And so there are several platform-related features in Impact. There is HealthScan, for example, where we track Jackie's platform health across several categories. We see how these scores are trending over time, and most importantly, how Jackie's company is doing compared to other companies of similar size and in the same industry. Our Impact customers also get access to a tool called Instance Observer, which is a self-service alerting tool where Jackie can set up customized alerts related to her platform. So imagine a job is slowing down her entire platform. She would get a real-time notification through various channels such as SMS or email with clear options for remediation. And Jackie can also track her Now support tickets, making sure that we respect our SLAs and also see how those tickets are trending over time. If Jackie wants to learn more about all of our Impact features, she can go on the benefits page here, and we have a clear description of all that Impact has to offer. Other things that are included in Impact are 24/7 support. She also gets access to developer support, where we put her in touch with a ServiceNow technical expert that will evaluate her code before she pushes it into production. Jackie also gets access to what we call accelerators, which are fixed scope services engagements, kind of like short-term consulting engagements on a specific topic. It's basically a proven recipe for success on different topics. This could be strategic, like how do I set up a ServiceNow governance model? How do I set up a center of excellence? But also much more technical topics like help me upgrade faster or help me implement virtual agent. And we have about 35 of these accelerators today, and we release anything between 5 and 10 per quarter. Impact has a quarterly release cadence. And finally, Jackie also gets access to what we call advisory sessions, which are basically half-day workshops with ServiceNow experts on a topic of her choice. Impact is all about making sure that you maximize your value from ServiceNow, but also that you're adopting the features and the products that you purchased. But we also want to make sure that you're you're fully leveraging your Impact features. So here we track how you're using your advisory sessions, your accelerators, how your cases are trending, how you're using Instance Observer and developer support, etc. So this is Impact in a nutshell. At a high level, it's a mix of people and technology, and all these features are here to make sure that you're maximizing your investment in ServiceNow, that you're able to track the value that you're receiving from that investment, and that you're keeping your platform healthy so you're able to execute on your strategic business objectives. Thanks, Christina. Fascinating enough to you.
Thanks, Hugo. Great demo. There's so much there. Let me flip back to my slides and we will jump into Tom's story. So in working with Northwestern Mutual, just to set the stage here, we understood that Northwestern had some really challenging goals, and a lot of those were around employee experience, tech optimization, security, and accelerating their business. The challenge was that there was not enough platform or product knowledge for Northwestern to get their goals done on their own. The operating model needed some help so that they could move faster. And as everyone might experience, there are resource constraints. So where Impact helped out Northwestern the most was with training, helping them with the Center of Excellence design and improvements in that area, product and platform experts, and also the Impact squad being at their side. Overall, over the course of, I think this was just 9 months, Tom, Northwestern found 157% return on their investment and 10% time reinvested into their team. 10 might sound like a small number, but with a large team, overall, that's a lot of time savings for Northwestern. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you, Tom.
Thanks, Christina. And before we get into some of the impact slides, we do want to kind of give you a little bit background of Northwestern Mutual and our environments. So kind of helps us set the stage. So we were founded in 1857, and some people might be saying like, well, if you're in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, why are you Northwestern Mutual? You have to look at like, what was the landscape of the United States at that time? So back in 1857, we were in the Northwest of the country. And one of our core beliefs at Northwestern Mutual is in being at our best, even when things look their worst. So what that kind of translates into is doing things right and really taking a long-term strategic approach versus a short-term quarterly tactical approach. And it kind of shows in our results and the value that we give back to our policy owners. So 2 fun facts about us. We are the first US business to own a mainframe. That's that black and white photo of it arriving on a flatbed semi in 1957. And then, another poll question here, if you want to put it in the chat. We have a ill-fated ship named after a company president, and I'll give you a hint if you're a Gordon Lightfoot fan. It was an iron ore ship that sailed the Great Lakes. So that's our history. And then looking at our journey. So to really set the stage for the impact program, this kind of shows our timeline for what our journey and our investment was. So making sure that we want to get the value out of it and maximizing the capabilities we own. You'll hear more of that during the presentation, but our journey really started in late 2018. At that time, we were looking to get off of a tool and onto ServiceNow. And ServiceNow came into our environment primarily as a replacement for our configuration management database. And then naturally, we just added on IT Service Manager, IT Operations Manager, and continue to invest in it with software asset management, security incident response, hardware asset management. Basically, what you see on that right side in those green boxes are capabilities that we own on the platform and continue to invest in and evolve our maturity model with, and continue to grow on that. And then as for our environment, so this slide technically was around the knowledge time. We are this quarter going to be upgrading into Utah as our mainline version, and then putting in Vancouver into our 2 POC environments. So our configuration is a single production instance with 6 non-production environments. We follow a standard SDLC approach. So really on approved demands, we follow a design, build, and run with progressive deployments along the way. And you'll also hear a little bit kind of the impact capabilities we use, like HealthScans and that, in order for us to move faster. All right, so why are you here? Hindsight's 2020, right? And really to answer this question that literally everybody wants to know. So what your takeaway for today when we jump into this presentation, it's going to be a reflection of what our first year of the program was. As Christina said, technically 9 months, but hopefully we'll give you some nuggets and answer some of the questions and give you some insight into that question literally everybody wants to know. So for our focus, we're going to cover 3 areas: training, expert discussions, and platform resiliency. Really the key areas for Northwestern Mutual as part of the Impact program. So starting with training, it really might go without saying, but success is more likely achieved when you have a plan in place. And in fact, 50% more likely. And as you see on the right, with a few of those subtopics, Northwestern Mutual with our Impact Squad, we're able to answer all of those underlying questions. So give you a little insight onto this first one with training and career paths and pipelines. And when you think about building a world-class team, it really starts with having good role definition and skilled individuals that work and engage with each other. And other customers I talk with, like, this is a huge challenge, right? Like finding candidates, and even with the constant bombardment of recruiters looking to fill that role, and always having a perfect candidate for you without even taking the time to better understand, what your needs are or what makes a great team. Or maybe worse, like perhaps those recruiters are looking to connect with you and poach your team, right? So as part of the Impact program, we did a custom initiative, and if it were to exist, I would market it as Jumpstart Your Talent Pipeline. So in doing so, we define career paths, both upward and lateral, that provide growth and development for our employees, as well as key attributes with our performance management system at Northwestern Mutual, and doing it in a way with that Impact program that really included calibration of job profiles that match more closely with the industry. So this was one we actually pulled in our corporate HR and partnered on. When we look at our operating model and look at those roles at the platform side, we covered everything from architecture, development, administration, release testing, data scientists, and then some newer center of excellence roles in my space that focus on business process architecture and user interfaces and user experiences. So experience is a big part, of the platform. And what I would just kind of like leave you with this too as a custom initiative. We did this prior to that Rise Up program. And if you're looking for, maybe something to incorporate into your practice, this works very great for like talent pipelines. And we've had success with it even with high school students as summer interns and college students converting into full-time employees post-graduation. As for our training certification, so one of the benefits of Impact is we get kind of this all-you-can-eat buffet at Now Learning. So really reinforcing our growth and investment in our people. It has allowed us to substantially take advantage of training and maintaining our knowledge. So we've currently got 131 learners, 49 of them are mainline trained, and that has converted into 16 individuals with mainline certifications. And I would say about 90% of those are multiple certification holders. So they have their CSAs, they have their CADs, implementation specialists, and a whole lot of micro certifications as well. So our goal this year is really to drive conversions. So getting those 49 converted into mainline certifications, and trying to hit like 60 to 75% of all those learners, as a stretch to be certified. And the cost for us when you start to add up all those individual people taking the training, we don't even have to worry about that. Again, as part of the benefit of this program, it's all included. We do track kind of showbacks in that, but if you think about the environment we're in, particularly a time where companies may be cost conscious, approvals for travel and training, the cool part is we can just say, look, we took care of the cost. It's in your development plan. Just reserve some time, register for those courses, and enhance your skills. With the access to Now Learning. One of the hidden treasures, I would say. Others have also called this an underdog feature, which is NowCreate, and it's really a gold mine. There's so much documentation available that while it can feel like drinking from a fire hose, it's really manageable and utilized throughout their journey. So the cool thing with Impact is we are getting all the same content that is available to the ServiceNow partners. So if you think about statement of works or engagements or things like that, it has helped us really level the playing field, as well as like speaking the same language and just being on that same page when we look to implement a new module that, you know, we're following those leading practices in that. And speaking of leading practices, giving you a couple search terms there. If you're looking for documentation, if you were just to put in implementation, you will get everything from like the strategy on that implementation, a step-by-step guide, sequencing in that crawl, walk, run, fly maturity model, insights from people that have formally implemented, assessments, you know, kickoffs, workshops, and even those starter stories that you can load into your, you know, project portfolio management and agile planning tools that'll write all your user stories and what you need to have done by when. So again, like a very underdog feature, it's a gold mine in that. The final part of the training that comes with Now Learning is the adoption toolkits. If the implementation guides really got you installed and set up, I would say these adoption toolkits are really your organizational change management kit from start to finish. So takes you from a product management standpoint, includes your go-to-market strategy, not just generating awareness for your launch or go live, but really sustaining that going forward. And for us, we adopt like a city release, you know, 2 times a year. The cool thing with these, if you think about like new capabilities come out and there are quick reference manuals or, you know, user guides that you don't have to have a training staff create, like you can just download them and modify them. They are refreshed, you know, with the branding and the specific capabilities for that city release. So that has helped us, you know, as part of that 10% saving the time, and we can just download them and use them as is for the most part. Okay, our second area of focus with the impact expert discussions, and one of the first things with formulating those big ideas into genuine realities is knowing that you don't have to figure it out on your own. And for us with the impact squad, you do have a trusted advisor or really advisors, right, that you can engage and facilitate conversations with those experts. So from a value journey standpoint, how do our business objectives, you know, align, and really, like in our words, in our Northwestern Mutual, you know, methodology and our goals, how do those get met with the ServiceNow platform capabilities? And then the accelerators, for those that are familiar with that phrase, TLDR, these are really the cliff notes for what you saw in NowCreate. So you saw a little bit on the demo with the IDE. For those not following the acronym, that's the online portal or the Impact digital experience, the user interface. And one of our challenges with an implementation we had with implementing HR service delivery, we were able to go out and our Impact Squad intervened on our behalf with a vendor on some of the how-to and alignment to what the best practice was, and then Northwestern Mutual's approach and where they wanted to be. And that really helped us to get back on track, you know, with outcomes we desired. So, you know, having that support and advocate, you know, in our corner as part of this program really helped. Another thing that helped is really we get prescriptive guidance from people who created it and have done it before. And the comparison I look at, if you were to climb Mount Everest, do you want to do it, on your own the hard way, or do you want to take that guided approach? And in the end, your outcome is still to reach the top, right? So why not just take the easier path forward? Another piece is people always talk about the art of the possible, but really talk about what the art of the realistic is. So there's good conversations with maturity between what the business wants and our user base wants. So again, kind of as you see on that bottom, that foundation crawl walk, taking that implementation sequence really helps us to set up for success. And sometimes we have the business owners that want to jump right into fly, but really articulating that journey and knowing the foundations that need to be in place, particularly with the CMDB and other data points, just provides reassurance and the path forward in that. And then on the other hand, though, offering specific things like the virtual agent as a means to free up staff, right? So they can do more impactful work. Those are not just like nice to haves, but really, in our organization become must haves because, people will ask for technical support at 3 in the morning on a Sunday. The accelerators, so now that you have your plan, it's really getting to work. And I would call this, as you kind of see in that graphic there, the ever expanding list of fixed scope offerings. And we've leveraged them on specific goals, such as the upgrade readiness through Jumpstart Your Upgrade, the health assessment, and previously with the Jumpstart Your AI search. And this has been very helpful, I would say, for our product management that just is always busy, may not have time to read the release notes or the user guides, but kind of give us the, we kind of know what we want. Let's just have a conversation and accelerate moving forward on that. And then the final area to talk about with how we're leveraging impact is with our platform resiliency. And we're really going to talk about the benefits of what formerly was known as Premier Support and how our platform team has achieved a level of discipline with proactive prevention and rapid remediation. So 3 areas on the right we're going to go into and answer those questions. So on the HealthScan, as you saw from the demo, this really speaks about the proactiveness nature of how we manage the platform, and then those 5 areas of focus with manageability, performance, security, upgradability, and user experience. And we do these scans quite more frequently than maybe some others. We actually do them every time we do releases within our update sets. So how do we move faster? Well, it's incorporated in our development practice. That really shows us, along the way how we're doing. And, from a production instance standpoint, we also have our squad running them every month. This helps to give us a before and after picture, but we didn't drill into it, but it really goes deeper in providing an assessment and recommendation. So if you do see a score drop, you can drill in, you can find like the update set, you can find a specific standard that was violated, so to speak, and really your action plan forward, how to remediate it and why it's important. And sometimes there's some very simple things for low-hanging fruit that can raise our scores. And we find that what gets measured gets attention better. So we continue the trend in having that correlation that allows us to keep focus on increasing our scores and exceptions very low through those actionable findings. Instance observer. So if we've got anybody in the audience that's like heard of something called Angel, this is what it is. And for us, it allows us to boldly go where our own monitoring can't. And we're at a point where we use it to enhance and enrich our data with our other on-premise monitoring tools. So I would say it doesn't 100% replace our existing monitoring tools, but gives us that extra insight where they can't, right? So ServiceNow watching ServiceNow is really, how I would describe Instance Observer. And with Northwestern Mutual being a risk-averse company and having a very world-class critical incident team, it's super important for them that we have performance availability and alerting on any of those deviations from a platform. So as you really saw, like our investment, right? Like part of this insurance policy is just making sure things are performing as expected and everybody has a good user experience. So while we are at the advanced level, we're not at total. We don't have the ability per se to send notifications, but we do have, we do have PagerDuty and we can integrate, with that. So those business rules and our investment there can determine the on-call person who's going to rapidly, respond to that, and helps with, who watches the watchers there. And what this has allowed us to do is things like not taking an outage when we perform our upgrades. So we've got IT resources working in ServiceNow 24/7/365. We have users submitting a case to HR at 3 a.m. The same goes for our automated processing. So our DevOps, our CI/CD pipeline deployments, all that weekend maintenance work, we can do those things without ever having to take an interruption or an outage of the platform. So Instance Observer paired up with our monitoring gives that proper insight. And as for operational reviews, I unfortunately did not get permission from Disney to put the Mandalorian up here, but I would say this is the way to always be green. So platform resiliency really talks about proactive care in the feeding. And with these operational reviews, we have a support account manager. This is the way, yep, you are correct. So our support account manager will review open cases, active changes, the instance management, but they're also in the loop on all of our customer initiatives, right? So if we are deploying a major upgrade and we've had a conversation with part of our squad, our account manager is also part of that squad. So if we have a Thursday meeting and we know we're implementing something major on Friday, they already have that context and situational awareness. So we're not like asking or telling them, yeah, we got this major deployment. They're aware of it. They have told us like we will have people on staff, ready and available. Here's the direct number to call. So it provides us some, reassurance, and we don't have to call a 1-800 number, right? Like something goes wrong. In fact, many times they're on the Zoom meetings with us, actually participating in, supporting us in that way. So, as we do those operational reviews, we're constantly tracking and trending how things are going. We're bringing attention to things that will need action, as like this could happen if you don't take action, but more importantly, here's how you can prevent it. So we always want to be green. And on this slide, really like our overall impact benefits, if we look at our outcomes and key performance indicators, here's that year in review or 9-month in review of our benefits. So from that time period, May 22 to March 23rd of this year. And from a growth standpoint, our user acceptance testing with upgrades. Normally we would take 2 sprints. We run 2-week sprints. We gave people a month. We were able to compress that down into a 1 week or a 1 sprint that lasted 2 weeks. So we had a 50% time savings there. I really want to call that out because like our user acceptance testing, we pull in all of our application owners on the platform. So sometimes that feels like the cast of Ben-Hur, like just with the number of people there, and to be able to do that in coordination in a shorter schedule has really helped us out, and has also like paid dividends with our user community has been able to adopt things faster and doesn't have to wait more time to get those things. Another result we got, we've been able to do more with less headcount. So as we've had like people leave the organization or our headcounts have remained the same, we've been able to take on additional work, right? So being able to do more with the same and maintaining that headcount has really helped. And then the talent pipeline you heard earlier. So, we're able to more effectively build our talent pipeline within instead of having to source externally, where approaches have been, contract to hire or other conversions. We're able to get really passionate IT folks, already at the high school level. I will vouch, like we actually had a junior in high school participate with like user experience analysis and analytics with our virtual agent, and got really excited in IT, and knock on wood, once they graduate college, has an open invite to come back with us as well. Cost, we are utilizing support more. So not that we couldn't do it on our own. I would say because we have the premier support, we're able to send things directly there for incident investigation, as well as if we actually, like at the advanced level, have custom code, we are able to leverage this developer support where ServiceNow will actually support our custom code, I think up to 100 lines, but we don't have to like track down a developer and pull them off other work. So that has given us, part of that math back into the 10% time back. And then higher uptime. So you heard about no outages during upgrades. All of our user and API integrations, that workflow is business as usual. And then 2 bullets under the risk. So the reduction in the business impact of ServiceNow application incidents. We are installing our patches very faster and a more timelier basis. And then reducing the admin and developer turnover. So if you think about all that now learning and that training, for our employees, they see that as, a huge investment, and, that has helped us actually, retain people and continue to progress with career paths. And we have a phrase at Northwestern Mutual, like cross-pollination on resources. So, people can do lateral moves and continue to grow and enhance the platform for our stakeholders.
Thanks so much for all of that, Tom. So great to hear your story. There's so much of it that I love, and it's been such a pleasure to be there with you through most of that journey. Some of my favorite things are just seeing that 33% reduction in turnover, I think is huge. And the Northwestern team has done an amazing job, almost building like a mini Rise Up program. If any of you have not heard of Rise Up, go check it out on our community. But Northwestern's done a really great job, and Tom really led up that effort. And at this point, we can open it up to questions.
Yeah, I think we just got our question in the chat. I'd love to ask you guys. This one's from Richard, and he's wondering, Tom, if you could discuss the benefits of your impact squad.
Sure. So, I mean, I think you kind of saw like the difference of resources as part of the squad. So, we've got one individual that's kind of like the quarterback. We've got an architect. We've got a training lead. We've got the support account manager. Really, like for us, I think like on the earlier slide, like the benefits of that impact squad, we had 157% return. So for every dollar we spent on this, we got, $1.57 back in benefits. So you spend a little money to make money. And, the program, I would say, is really like pay for itself and then some. And I don't know if there was like something kind of specific in there, but like there was a lot, in the presentation of like how we've taken advantage of it. And, kind of the theme for this, right? Like, it's an insurance policy for us that's paying dividends.
I love to hear that, Tom. And I think also part of the benefit of a squad for Northwestern and for any customer is really making sure that we understand what's important to you. And having a group of people that understand, your team and your environment and the journey that you're going on, and then also being able to be prescriptive and bring in the right people at the right time that are experts in the specific areas that you're going down throughout that journey.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. We have one more around accelerators. I know you touched on accelerators a little bit in your presentation. Is there anything else you'd like to share around some of the most impactful accelerators or accelerators you'd like to use in the future?
Yeah, one we kind of have right now, and I don't know if it's gonna like be an accelerator or it's like this hybrid between an accelerator and an expert discussion, which is really like around common service data models. So like, our year 2 challenge here is really, I think, as we look at services, and I've done like 14 stakeholder interviews, and everybody's got a different opinion of what services are. I would say that's really where, our focus is. Our next thing, is going to be on common service data model and services, and really just tying it all back together when we look at, what we've bought, and getting that solved is very likely, we'll add more modules to the platform as well. So things like business continuity planning, other things like as we've got like a strong foundation with configuration items and assets, but just seeing that more through the business lens versus like an IT lens.
Hey, Tom, speaking of accelerators, do you feel like the Jumpstart Your Upgrade accelerator had a key role in saving that 50% of time with your upgrades?
I would say yes. Like the period we're in, like as I transitioned to this role and we brought somebody new in, had it really allowed them to kind of see the approach and the methodology and kind of the why we do things the way we do things. So I would also add, like it helps, like, from a product standpoint, like, the importance of when we're doing these aren't just like admins doing upgrades, like product can go in and read the release notes, know about the capabilities. So it's not just like geared towards admins. I would say, like, have your product managers in there as well.
Totally agree. Any other questions out there that we have, Danny?
That is it for questions for you guys. We did get a question around where the recording will be and where the deck will be, and we have posted a link to that the recording of today's session and slides will be posted on that link. So you guys can have access to that. And if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. But I think that's it for us.
All right. I really want to thank you, Tom. We really appreciate your partnership, and it's always a pleasure to work with you and the rest of your team.
Likewise.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.